Hello there, I'm Tom Donkin with BBC World News. Here's our top stories. The Pope visits the front line of Europe's migration crisis at a camp on the Greek island of Lesbos. At least 19 people are killed and many injured in the second powerful earthquake to hit southern Japan in 2 days. Troops are now deployed to search for survivors. Pope Francis has given a speech to migrants at a camp on the Greek island of Lesbos. His visit is aimed at showing support for those living in difficult conditions at the detention centre. He told the migrants that they are not alone in their plight and called on the world to respond with common humanity to the migrant crisis.
I have wanted to be with you today. I want to tell you that you are not alone. In these weeks and months, you have endured much suffering in your search for a better life. Many of you felt forced to flee situations of conflict and persecution for the sake of your little ones. You have made great sacrifices for your families. You know the pain of having left everything that is dear to you. And what is perhaps most difficult of all, not knowing what the future may bring. Many others, like you, are also in camps and towns, waiting and hoping to build a life on this continent.
Well, the BBC's Sophie Long is in Lesbos. Let's go there and join her now.
Gavin, thank you very much. Yes, Pope Francis has just been speaking at the Moria detention centre where more than 3,000 migrants are currently being held. He told them that they are not alone and he recognised the suffering he said they'd endured in their search for a better life. He also said that he wanted the world to heed these scenes and respond in a way worthy of our common humanity. Well, I am at Mytilene Harbour, where the Pope will be coming next. I'm joined here by Jean-Pierre Chemry, who is from the European Asylum Support Office. Jean-Pierre, you were up at Moria this morning when the Pope arrived. Just give us a sense of the reception he got there.
Well, as you said, I think it was a very strong symbolic visit in a way that it gets hope, it creates hope. I think it was fascinating also to see a number of smiles from children which have been there, you know, for quite some time right now, and they're obviously going into a period of uncertainty in their lives, and that is in fact why we are there, EASO and also other European stakeholders, and we are stepping up our presence in order to have these people processed as fast as possible so that they can move on with their lives and have a better future.
So just to be clear of your role, you are helping the Greek authorities process claims for asylum. That has been quite slow. I've been up at the Moria camp. I've spoken to people through the fence who say they've been given an asylum number but they haven't got any further and they don't know what's happening next. That uncertainty was something that was recognised by the Pope today. Is that something that is going to end soon? How long before people know what will happen to them and where they'll be going?
Well, we're actually helping the Greek Asylum Service, as you well said, on the admissibility procedure, which comes even before the actual processing of the asylum application. We are hoping that the process should take 2 weeks in all, so it will still a few days until we will see that the first group of people which were processed are out of the whole process. We hope, you know, to step up our presence. We already have 70 people there doing this processing work, interviews, vulnerability checks, and we will have around 140 by next week. And that's quite a significant number for just one camp. What's important here is not to do the process very, very fast, but also to have a fair and thorough process where every applicant is treated individually. We need to look also into the substance here.
Just very briefly, the Pope has emphasised today that this is an international problem. The Greek government was hoping to have volunteers to help them with that. You say you're increasing the numbers. Is that a situation that's being rectified? Do they have enough officers and translators to do the work that needs to be done here?
Well, yes, we are increasing our presence, stepping up. We're not the only ones increasing our presence. The EU and the stakeholders are increasing their presence. Well, is it enough? I mean, it's never enough, so to say, because the more people you have, and that's why the better it is. So that's why also, you know, we make calls upon member states to pledge more experts so that we are able to deploy as many as possible, as fast as possible here in Lesbos and on the other islands.
OK, Jean-Pierre Chambry, thanks very much indeed for being with us. Well, the Pope has said, the Vatican has said that he's come here today to meet the migrants, to look in their faces and to hear their stories and to give them one message. That message is, do not lose hope.
Sophie, thanks very much. That's Sophie Long on the island of Lesbos covering the Pope's visit there. Now, at least 19 people are known to have died after an earthquake hit southern Japan, the second in less than 2 days. The 7.3 magnitude quake hit the city of Kumamoto in the early hours of Saturday. It brought down buildings, causing fires and sending thousands of people out onto the streets. Now it's feared that heavy rain and gale-force winds could trigger further landslides, as Dan Johnson reports.
This was an earthquake with the power to move mountains. At magnitude 7.3, this second tremor was stronger and it affected a much larger area. Homes have been bulldozed by landslides. Major highways have been torn away, leaving roads that go nowhere. Just look how close it was for this car. Others weren't so lucky. There are people trapped in buildings that couldn't hold out, despite Japan's tough construction standards. This is just one of many rescue operations. Emergency teams are being helped by thousands of soldiers. The violent shaking woke people in the early hours of the morning, and all this barely 24 hours after the first quake hit. The experts from Japan's meteorological agency say that was just the build-up to the main shock, but they can't rule out further tremors. That's why thousands have left their homes, fearing further damage, favouring the open air.
The night before last, I stayed in the gym, and last night I was dozing off when the earthquake happened around midnight. That damaged the school buildings and the gym.
Vast areas are without power or water. These are the biggest earthquakes to hit the region for 100 years. And there are other threats too. It's not clear if a small eruption from this volcano is linked to the tremors. There are also fears rain could set off mudslides, and further aftershocks could bring yet more misery. Dan Johnson, BBC News.
Well, that's it from me and the team. Thanks for being with us. For now, it's goodbye. Bye-bye.